cropping-wise, everything should be the same. Sorry. So let's start this up, but in English. And now I will do my best to mash through the text. So I'll go over the story for the first game. There's a misunderstanding between Dela and Ares. Ares is the main character. And so she's trying to kill him, and while they're fighting, they fall in the big pit. And it leads to a magical kingdom where they find ancient artifacts and old dragon beings. And then they make their way out. And then that leads right into this game, where you still have your ancient artifacts and all your levels. But then you get... you collapse in a desert, and these... what are they called? Bounty hunters. They find you and collect the bounty on my head, take me to this prison. And they also steal my sword. The game is named after the sword. It's the Planet Buster. So yeah, I'm in prison trying to break out. The prisoners are just working to dig holes. And the monsters are here to keep us in the prison. Here's the first boss. It's pretty mean for a first boss. It forces you to attack enemies from the side. And I don't think that's something that you had to do in the first Brandish, other than the boss enemies. And even some of those you didn't have to fight from the side. But he hits really hard, and every enemy with a weapon blocks in this game. But yeah, the game is direct sequel. The systems are pretty much the same, just improved. So like, it's a bit of a more open world. There's more weapons to choose from. More enemy variety. And deeper lore. The deepest lore. Let's hope I don't make a major mistake like I did in the last run and have to reroute on the fly. So I got keys, I'm working my way towards hammers now. It's a bit harder to dodge enemies. Because one thing they did change as a sequel is they improved the glitch prevention. And that means taking their the glitches they knew of and then just enforcing more borders on things, like stronger collision. That centipede is the mini-boss in this area. Way too strong. So yeah, the intro story is just you collapse in a desert after leaving the cave, and they find you. It's not a very complicated story. But then you'll later find out that you were manipulated into getting lost in a desert. So the level strategy is a little different. A little the same, a little different. I'm gonna grind levels on bosses mostly. The first mini-boss is right here, but they give you a weapon. And they actually give a really good weapon. It also sells for a lot of money. So I'm gonna use that to fight the boss. And just like the last game, I'm gonna die in one hit, so I'm just never gonna take a hit. It's our old friend, the Rakshasa, but in this game it has a range of 2 tiles instead of 1, so it's a little tougher. So basically I escape the prison and then this is the final challenge to get out. It's not that rare that I die to this, and if I do, I have to rewatch the cutscene. But we got it. Carl is the rival's name. He's not the evil bad guy. Here's the minor bad guy is right here, and he just died. But Carl's the rival. Carl's that swordsman who wants to be the best, and so he went after Ares so that they could fight. But he didn't want to fight him as he was dying, so we'll fight later. Okay, so we made it out. That was Carol watching us leave. This cutscene tears a bit on this patch, but it's nothing important. This is also the best cutscene, and you'll see why. Yeah, so it was a prison on an island, and we got caught up in some stormy weather, and it draws us into this cursed island. Don't really know what the curse is. Like, there's a temple inside, I guess. But, yeah. So here it is, in-game cinematics. It's amazing. So we're still enemies, but working together, that type of thing. And we're gonna work together to get the sword back, so that she can sell it. So instead of that, I'm gonna throw her to this kraken here, and that's one less problem for me to deal with. The best lore. Oops. Okay, so we're coming on Cave 1. Cave 1 is probably the hardest floor, because I skipped the armor earlier. And that's because Cave 1 has bats. And bats are impossible. So in this game, the anti-stuck feature is a little easier to employ. So I'll be doing that a bunch in the early game. Got him. So I just need to press load here. And I need to not teleport on top of a skeleton. Okay, we're good. I got the book. I've been dying a lot lately to this area coming up, so I'll just take another save. Saves are pretty fast. Dead. It's harder to jump over enemies, so I'm getting caught by the frog when I really shouldn't be. But we're almost out. It's pretty much safe after this. I can mention the downside to resting, since it becomes important later. When you get hit while resting, you take damage as if you didn't have any armor on. So, at low levels, it's pretty safe to rest, but later on, you're gonna get one shot. Okay, so we're in the cave because that's just where the water currents took us. I can't see. It's like, we didn't want to come here, it just happened. We killed her because I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe she was gonna do something else. Go somewhere else. But that doesn't even make sense. I think he just playfully killed her. As in, it was all a joke, just a prank. But, yeah. It's her job to fall for the unfortunate incidents. And that's just what happened. Okay, now I actually have armor, so I can take hits. Pits are super deadly. But that's normal for when you're at low level. Fire magic I picked up because there's an enemy coming up that I need to use a ranged attack to kill. But otherwise, I'm gonna start farming money now. And killing bats. I hate bats. So here's a new weapon attribute, Holy. And that's to kill the skeletons. If you kill a skeleton, then he gets back up. Unless you use a holy weapon. And that comes into play very late, when I have to kill one undead enemy. Okay, so I didn't mention it last time, but the warp I got was a secret item. Like, casually, you're not supposed to find that. And in this game, I don't have one of those warps. And the warp you do get is at the very end. So I have to use these emergency escapes instead. and I lose a level in every stat whenever I do it. So it becomes very important to balance my levels. But there's only one boss where that's a big deal. Okay, so to explain the camera again, when I rotate, the camera rotates with me, so that's always behind me. So I turn 90 degrees, the camera also turns. And in this game, the compass is on the minimap. It's those arrows on the minimap. I'm leaving the minimap up. Hopefully it's easier to follow with it. Yeah, don't go in there. Yeah, there's a couple fights where I'll turn off the minimap, like the earlier one, because I need more vision of the battlefield. This. Minor point, but all the hammer weapons also can break walls. But the wooden hammers are not weapons. There's dark armor. It's only usable in Dark Zone. But there is a Dark Zone in this game, so I'll use it there. Yeah, the camera, it is easier to get used to if you're playing. I think aside from that, you'd have to watch a lot to know. Maybe the biggest thing is knowing the maps, which I don't expect anyone in chat to know. It's a timed door. So yeah, got Dark Shield. We're set for Dark Zone. I'll be skipping most of the enemies in this game, up until maybe the midway point, because enemies give more experience the later you are in the game. And so, at the midpoint it becomes a good idea to kill enemies for experience. Because there I start needing more max health. And if I don't gain levels early on, then I can not feel bad about leveling down. So here's the first shop. It's super laggy in the English patch. This is a patch, by the way, not an official release. So I'm going to sell all this. The main thing I'm looking to buy is a weapon in the next town. But I can do things to make this boss fight faster too. Okay, that's that. So this town has smaller stacks of items, and that means the items are cheaper if I don't need all the items in the stack. So that's why I'm buying the ring and the mana potions here. This boss is going to be fought with invisibility. It's just the best way to do it. It's a rather slow fight without invisibility. So put on that. So here's where weapon durability comes into play. My strength stat is too low to damage the boss, even with best weapons. So I'm going to raise my level on the boss, and then I'll equip the weapons. I'm trying to get 5 hits per cycle, but 4 is fine. I use about 10 potions worth, so 10 cycles. Then I put on the weapons. I think this boss is 30 experience per hit. So that's like a level and a bit per cycle. Didn't mention the experience system. Enemies have an experience value that they're worth, and then you subtract from that your level to get the amount of experience you receive. So, I accidentally did 2 extra cycles, but I got the kill, so it was worth it. Yes, experience is per use. So you gain strength levels, or strength experience on every attack. You gain magic experience on every magic cast. Magic resist is every hit you take. And your level experience is on every kill. Yep, the weapon system is much more advanced. You're not forced to use a shield in this. And I go through a number of weapon combinations. So I started out with no weapons, then went to two-handed with the axe. Now I have double swords, and next I'm going to have a fist weapon and a sword. And then eventually we realize the dream and get double shields. And it actually has a practical purpose. That guard always drops a sword. I don't really know how the drop chance works. This is the scary guard. Don't want to mess with him. Another full inventory of gold, so time to hit a shop. Here's where I buy the fist weapon. I'll keep the Gladius, because it has enough durability. I'm gonna sell all this for money. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make money in this game. You just find weapons on the ground and sell them. And if you're skipping enemies, then you don't need to use the weapons, so it works out. I'll try to remember to find the ninja next time I'm at the shop. So here's a boss. I can survive a hit. I used to grind magic resist on this boss, but now I don't. I abuse iframes now to gain magic resist. If they see me at range, then they'll always attack. That hurt. I was trying to be careful and it backfired. So this fight in particular, it's really bad to die because I lose the weapon durability. Got him. And we're not going to fight Amber. You get some good money if you win against Amber. But she's hard. Amber is a character in the third game. Okay, I have enough durability to kill one enemy. So that's nice, I guess. So I'm going to take this route and grab a new weapon. This is a forced kill floor. I gotta kill all the enemies to advance. So I probably gain most of my levels off of floors like this. They also have like 10 weapons on the ground. So I just needed my weapon to last the Ifrit fight. Story here is bandits kidnapped a little girl, and we're being helpful. I had to do the arena fight so that the quest giver would notice us. Let's go farther over. Grabbing all these swords because I'm going to buy another claw weapon. I'm going to buy another stack of 100 health potions, because that's what you do in Brandish games. Brandish 3 actually has a 500 health potion grind. It's amazing that it's in the speedrun. Just putting that out there. This takes 4 or 5 hits. And my sword broke, so that's a thing. That hurt. Okay, bit of shopping. And then we start doing some enemy dodging. Do our nice little cheat to get to the entrance. we are selling all the weapons. Sell all the weapons. We are buying weapons. Alright, so here's where I buy the 100 potions. Buy more fire rings. This route also has fire rings. And I think I have enough money left over for mana potions. With this patch, I get stuck in menus sometimes. Like, the cursor just doesn't move. Oh well. No more mana potions. Combine that. Go there. And what else? Keys. This is a side quest and not important at all. But it's just funny. So that's an introduction to a ninja side quest, where you raid the ninja fortress. Fight their armies of bears. Okay. So this game you get a teaser of Dark Zone before going into the real thing. So I'll put on the Dark Zone equipment. A Dark Zone, the enemies are way overstated. And so I have to put on special equipment that helps me survive their damage. And I didn't have to do that in Brandish 1 because I just dodged all the attacks. But I gotta take it off before I leave, or else you get lag locked. Turn the map back on. The map's probably helpful. I don't really know. So this next area doesn't have any minor enemies. It's only enemies that kill me in one hit. And that's why I bought invisibility potions. So invisibility potions have a history in the speedrun. They're not as strong as the Brandish 1 invisibility potions, because they don't make you immune to damage, and most of the enemies have a alternate attack that they use when you're invisible. But it turns out you can take advantage of their alternate attack to force their AI to do a certain thing. and then you can kill them easier. So that's the boss's side. The dungeoneering side, you just die less if you use invisibility. So I've been slowly using more and more, like routing them into the run. Like, I think it was only this week that I bought another stack of 20 at the shop. Almost took a hit. The original plan was to buy armor and then get just enough levels to survive exactly one hit with like exactly 1 health left. And that worked for a time. It's this way. I use the minimap sometimes on this floor. The game autosaves every time I do a floor transition. So I just need to do a load there. I can warp out. And the first like 2 seconds after loading, you get iframes, and so do enemies. So that's why I didn't die to the first guard. I'm not sure it's possible to clip through enemies in this one. Like, the collision is really strict, especially on the arrows coming up. You'll see I get caught jumping into the arrows a lot. Here's a bit of a puzzle. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. So unlike Brandish 1, when this game was ported to SNES, they cut some of the levels. And Castle Wall is one of the areas that they cut either in half or by 2/3. It used to be full of puzzles. Now there's still puzzles, but just less of them. And like there's a whole nother floor. There's a room called the Insanity Room. That's where you do a bunch of very tight platforming. Maybe I can move where enemies were, like as they start moving. That fireball kills me in 1 hit. It's a scary fireball. But normally I get caught on things very easily in this. Some more fireballs. So here's the enemy that I needed the double glove for. Double fist weapon. Different weapon combinations also have quirks to them. Fist weapons let you do a kick, and the kick does triple your strength value. But triple my strength value is much less than my weapon damage. So I don't want any kicks. Kicks do no damage. Punches do lots of damage. Here's the tower. My sword is on top of the tower, so I gotta climb it. The gimmick of the tower is that you can fall off. So especially on the floors coming up, you can fall off the side and it'll take me back to that past floor I just did. Okay, so this part's really important. So I gotta line up with this guy. Okay, looks like I'm dead. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, we made it. Okay, so normally I die in one hit to this enemy, but I can use the iframes from loading to not be able to take any damage. Also, the screen flashes a lot. I keep forgetting to mention that. So this is an enemy that will chain cast magic attacks. And if I rest, I take full damage, no matter my magic resist stat. And with the iframes, I take no damage. So it's full damage, but actually none. Let's see how we are. You go through health potions really fast, if you can only survive one hit. So let's get another level. Okay, I can take 2. So without doing that, I'd either have to grind enemies to raise magic resist earlier, or I'd have to raise my max health to something that could survive. This just lets me skip a whole bunch of levels. And this is the only magic resist grind in the game, in the run. So it kind of slows down again. The level gain slows down when I have high magic resist. I also don't really need these levels. They're kind of just safety levels. But again, while I'm resting, it doesn't matter what my magic resist is. I take full damage. Let's just do a save. I hate that attack. That was weird that invisibility ran out, but whatever. When he does the fountain attack, then he creates clones. Let's switch this out. Now we're getting into the part where levels are important. Let's try and get this kill. Do another corner. This floor is probably the worst for falling off. But you can just do a corner warp. This guy's melee attack one-shots me. But their range attack doesn't do a whole lot. But they'll keep casting the ranged attack until I use invisibility. So they're actually really hard to get past without invisibility. And that's why I started using invisibility for this part. Some more lore. This is the prophet who predicted that I would come to the kingdom and dethrone the king. And so they killed him for giving bad press. Negative prophecies are not allowed. Let's prepare for the boss. Something like that. So this is another fight that looks weird. I'm gonna kill the boss with lightning magic. And that'll be to raise my int stat. This is another magic grind. Surprise, Dayla's back. So this is actually a battle in the menu, just like the ninja fight. So I'm spamming lightning magic and mana potions. And that's because I need to kill some enemies coming up with magic, because they're immune to physical. I forgot the lore of the sword. The sword is collecting all the power of the cosmos. And now it's too much to handle. So let's see. So this is an AI manipulation on the ninjas. The invisibility makes them do their shuriken attack, and the ring of protection keeps me from dying. Without invisibility, they just run around everywhere. So here's another weird fight. I'm just gonna gain levels. This enemy is worth like double experience to everything else in the area. It's a ridiculous amount of experience. And the next boss is actually unbeatable unless you do this grind. Maybe you could go to the ninja village. I haven't tried that. They might be appropriate experience. But the next boss, the enemies right before the boss, they stop giving levels. They stop giving experience. Before you're able to do damage to the boss with the best weapons. So yeah. The Soul Master manipulated Ares into the desert, and so he collapsed. And he also caught Dayla when she was grabbed by the Kraken. So here's Raksasha again. I got the key, didn't I? I think I'll go to the shop here. Buy some more mana potions. I think I have ruined one of my practice runs, running out of mana potions. It's a good thing I ruined that run, because now I know where that shop is, where I didn't a day ago. Okay, so I'm back in the prison. They just have a teleporter to the prison. And I have the book now, so the book is what lets me down here. Now I'm down to the laboratory. I'm not sure the lore on the island makes a whole lot of sense, but all the prisoners are digging and just carving out the island. And then I guess they turn the rooms into laboratory rooms and do experiments. Okay, so here's the enemy that's immune to physical. So I'm going to put on my fire rings. And the room's pretty cool. Because they got these magic reflectors at the ends of each room, each side of the room. So fireballs just go back and forth forever. And I guess we hear that sound until the end of the floor, don't we? Oh well. Not yet. I can't kill him in time. That's flame magic I just gave for money. This is one of the harder floors because of these shadows. Not dead. Not dead. I'm gaining levels for the boss coming up. It's the hardest boss of the run. This puzzle is just dumb. Okay, made it through. Do a safety save. Here's a non-puzzle. It looks like a puzzle room, but it's not. Got it. Dead. So yeah, just don't get hit. That's how you play this game. Just don't ever get hit. I only know where to save because I've died there before. I missed. Got him. Here's conveyors. But first, more of these. Ah, I missed. I can do this. It's the other one. Got him. Don't even dare jump over them. The record in this game is not deathless. Like, I'm still working on strats to get it, get the number of deaths down consistently. Where do I go from here? Yeah, sure. I think it's not close to deathless. Whereas in Brandish 1, the record is deathless. I keep forgetting to drop this elevator key. These chests are actually bombs. I don't really want to do that. Yeah, death-wise, I'm doing pretty good. It's just the ifrits were bad. And am I the record holder? Yes, I am. I also don't know of anyone else who runs these games. Yep, Brandish 1, Brandish 2, 3, PSP. Actually, there was a Japanese runner who was learning PSP. I don't know anyone else who's actively running these games. Even I only play it off and on now. The community is small. Also Brandish 4. Can't forget that one. Speaking of deaths, that's what we have coming up. Here's where I get out my death counter. For this boss. So it turns out the best damage comes from using this hammer. So where are my items at? There. Get rid of that book. Literally free. Okay, sorry to let everyone down, but he didn't do anything. Normally he starts by sidestepping and then I can't catch him. And then when I do catch him, he does his instant kill attack. So I guess we're making estimate today. Sigh. That was the final boss from the first game, yes. Good eye. And the enemies in the room before him are clones. So they took remains of the boss and they started cloning it. The boss is... It's a human king that's been cursed by a dragon. And that's what you get. Whatever that was. So here you see that Carl is not a bad guy. He's trying to stop the real bad guy on his own. So as soon as I catch up to him, we can work together. Here's Dark Zone. If you don't know the pattern to the first room, then good luck. Let's see. I guess I don't have my other shield yet. Normally I use the fire shield, but I sold it for emergency cash. So I'll get another one up here. Yeah, Demon Lady is crying and, you know, could console her. Nah, just jump over. So here it is, double shields. And here's why it is. You can block behind you when you have double shields. Isn't that amazing? And that is why I get double shields. Let's see, what else do I want? Look how slow these menus are. The time really adds up if you have bad menuing. So I mentioned that double fist weapon lets you do a kick. Double swords lets you attack with your offhand. And that is also bad. Because offhand, it does less damage, but it also breaks your offhand weapon. And I like to use the offhand as a way to conserve weapon durability. If enemies block, then it uses weapon durability. Weapons in the offhand, they do give you stat bonuses. Here's Fred. Fred's a great guy. He just gets himself a little over his head from time to time. Where's my good sword? There it is. This enemy can kill me pretty easily. have double magic though, so I one-shot most enemies. Yes, Omega Lol is very fitting. Let's see. I'm gonna save again. Because I actually died to Lizard Man pretty easily too. It turns out I didn't need those mana potions. Because the boss was that cooperative. I'm coming up on the next shop. The last shop, in fact. Let's try again. I don't think I can go there, so I'll go up here instead. The damage. Uh-oh. I'm gonna leave the floor. Just don't get hit. So that wall had white dots at the top. So that's how I knew I could break it. Omega lol every time. Let's see, what am I selling? Didn't make it to 1 million. So these two are the essentials. And then these I get because I absolutely can't run out or rip run. And I can get a sword because I have extra money. Barrier magic scales with your armor. Your defense stat. We'll be fine. Okay. This is another kill floor. I have to kill all these harpies. And the last one will drop a key. Then there's a second step to the puzzle where I have to light all these torches. But harpies come first. So barrier is double defense, and double is double offense. That's how it works. And that's applied before the enemy's defense. So in practice, it's much bigger than just double. I go through a couple weapons here. And by the end, I actually have a mana bar that can cast more than one spell. So here's backup weapon number 1. And here's backup weapon number 2. And I can't get it. Anything here? So the challenge of this floor is I have to find all the harpies. It's just slow. I seem to have broken my weapon. Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I was going to make estimate, even if I started on time. But so don't worry about this ending time thing. Because I discovered that I'm bad at this game. Let's get back to what's happening. So I'm gaining levels that gives max mana, and that lets me use multiple spells, so I don't burn through all of my mana potions all that fast. But here we have a mini-boss. Let's see. That's not what I wanted to use. Those two. Well, I'm invisible now, so let's see what happens. Got him. So you gotta put down the 4 idols. Otherwise, the boss respawns. And he becomes the final shield. I probably should have took the other entrance if that worked. Yeah. So the Planet Buster is so strong that I need the final shield and the final armor just to hold its power. There we go. So the harpies wander far enough that they run laps around the room, and I gotta catch them. And this is the slow part of this room. Double check up the halls. Okay. Last one. And that's a fine spot for it, because I gotta put the key in right here. Whoops. Bad inspect. Okay, part 2. So I'm looking for the yellow dots on the minimap, if you're wondering. Brandish 3 is even better, camera-wise, because you play it like triple speed of what I'm doing now. It's a great watch. Brandish 4, though, is a slanted view, It has a different camera. Okay, we're into teleporter maze. This room has Medusas, so if I get spotted, I get petrified, and then just stun-locked. Stun-locked unto death. That's what my invisibility are for. Except on one short. Slanted view, I mean isometric view. Oh, but it does have a very cool final set of levels. It like flips the camera upside down and like mirrors the controls. It's the worst thing. The final boss rush is impossible. I'll save her. That made it worse. Saved. Okay, this one I'll try to fight without the invis. Nope. Does that not say she's dead? Monster health bar, none. Alright. Just pass the problem on to the next one then. I have so many weapons. I think it's here. Got it. So Dayla's the comedic relief character. Every time she's on screen, something bad happens to her. So that's why she died to the Kraken, and she stepped on a teleporter trap. She's just unlucky. We're gonna do some quick level grinds. Back here. That H is for heal over time magic. It's like even in Brandish 1, she falls for a set of traps. I think I skipped all the cutscenes though, except for the one where I killed her. So like the first time you meet her, she just falls in a pitfall. The third time, she steps in a... She has a boulder chaser. Things like that. So that was the wall that was undead. On this floor, everything's undead. So I'd use a hammer made of holy. And the holy hammer killed the wall. the last floor of Fortress, but it's kind of long. Use up the full floor space. And the next zone is also really long. This way. The puzzle here is to collect 3 items. Just like the idols. But I'm gonna use them on the armor instead of the shield. We already got the shield. So I think I got the cane from there. Up here's the slab. This one. I'm also picking up my final set of weapons. There's no good way to do this puzzle. So I hit the switches and they unhit the switches. That's what happens. I'm level 39 now. It just got up there on its own. No, I wouldn't say we're almost over just yet. Another 20 minutes, 15. I'm going with 15 because that's underestimate. Yeah, the levels are mostly from killing all the harpies and all the mushrooms, the fire monsters, the vampires, all the killing. Okay, so here we do the ritual, drop that, figure out my inventory. Actually, I have a lot I want to drop. So these are the best swords before the Planet Buster. Okay, got him. So now I can finally put on Planet Buster. This takes me to the final area, which is 3 floors, but they're all really long. Casually, this game is really long, largely because you get lost easily. Especially on the later levels, you lose a lot of time looking for small details in the walls. And you can't see... you can't see next to you. You can't look at a wall next to you because of how the camera works. So it's easy to miss walls that are break walls and such. Here's final area 1 of 3. It's a room full of pushy monsters. It's pretty good positioning against the wall there. So that's the last required kill for a while. This is the last of the kill rooms. I guess it isn't. I gotta kill the eraser eyes too. Huh. I'm gonna assume that works out, because I don't remember. I use one hammer here, and I use one hammer on the next floor. Pretty cool tile set. Nice colors. The puzzle for this floor and the next floor is you need to offer items for them to open the door. Get rid of that battle armor. Not making use of that mini-map. Don't know where to go. This one. Isn't there a hammer right here? No. Okay, so finally we get our warp magic in this room coming up, and it lets me jump around to the end of levels, but only if I've been to the end of the level already, so it's not that useful. But it does save significant time for the last 2 floors, that is. The reason you give it to you here is because they're going to release a bunch of eraser eyes. And they can go through walls, and I have to catch them all. There's no reason to save. So that's a bad pattern. Let's see if we can get him. Here's the technique. He turned. He's gone. Oh, he came back. Okay, got it. Floor 2 is another hard floor. Very easy to die. But that's more so at the end of the floor. Not that many enemies early on. I'm gonna stock up on Rings of Life, because this final boss is just as amazing as the Brandish 1 final boss. Or any Brandish final boss, really. I recommend checking out all the final bosses. They're absolutely unfair. So here's the hoping I don't need any more hammers. here's where it gets hard. Barrier falls off, I die. So they have high physical monsters, high magic monsters, and annoying monsters. So grab that. I didn't do that right. I tried to read chat. I don't have a good setup for reading chat, by the way. Too focused on the game. Anyway, offer gold fragments there, gold bars here. And the last one has a key. This one. No deaths. Final floor. Plus 2 subfloors. So here we gotta fight a fake Dela. I gotta give her the sword. Just cuz. And she gives me a key back, plus the sword. So that works out. Let's do a safety barrier, in case I randomly take a fireball like that. At the very end, I need invisibility, because I got stunning enemies. Stunning spider ladies. So this floor has high magic damage, a freeze effect, and a stun effect. And that's how you know we're near the end of the game. Amber key. And they make you go all the way across the map to make sure you know how to use warp. And here's the fated battle. This fight is also fought in a peculiar way. And that is with heavy use of the barrier magic. Story-wise, Carl tried to stop the Great Evil, but he decided it was too powerful, so he just gave up. And he wants to fight me instead, because that was his original plan. So Carl gave up on the mission, is all that's happening here. Just before we were about to work together. You may notice a text box at the top of the screen. I'm trying to get a bunch of those. The more of those I get, the easier the end of the game gets. including the second phase of this fight. So I'm gonna beat on him until about 20% health left on Carl. And I think he actually one-shots me if I don't have barrier up. That's what happened last time anyway. There. Put on double, one-shot the horse. But wait, there's phase 2. I still had double on, so he gets demolished. So there was a shrine in the Cursed Island, and it had a demigod thing in there. He was like mortal, then became a god, and here he is again. And he fused his soul with a demon, but now he's leaving for some reason. I don't know. He's freed from his sins, and now he's gone. We're the god of war, so we can bust a planet now. That's what they're saying. It's time to bust a planet. Final boss. The estimate. Uh-oh. Back here. This one. I wasn't sure if it was this room or the next room. And she's back to normal, like nothing happened. The fight goes pretty quick, but there's a bunch of RP. Basically, we're in the center of the world. And he has dark powers from beyond the cosmos or something. So the strat is don't get hit, and then for phase 2 it's die immediately, or die fast. Brandish Dragon Lightning. I never found that magic. I'll do a save. That hurt. That's how you leave the room, if you want to leave the room for some reason. She's just resting. She's fine. So here's how this boss works. I die a lot. Let's try that again. Not supposed to go quite that bad. Bad mashing. That was the kill. Fight him legit. Got him. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't quite die fast enough. I didn't stick to the plan. So this is the credits. I am going to shout out a task I made of Brandish 1. It does the glitched category. So if you're interested in glitch Brandish, you should watch that. It's only 11 minutes. Rip estimate, but this was... I think it was a bad estimate, honestly. And sadly, that's it for the marathon. And that's it for me, so I'll go quiet now.
All right. Thank you so much, Osse. I hope I said that right. 101 was the runner of Brandish. And Brandish 2 finishing off the marathon. It's all over. Unfortunately. I'm Mythical9. I'm one of the organizers. I'm joined here by some of the others. We've got Kekuman Shoyu. How you doing? I heard him for a little bit. Maybe I should introduce Feasel first. How are you doing?
Hi, how's everyone doing?
And now I hear Kecker. How are you?
I'm good.
Cool. All right, so yeah, we're done. But we've got some wrap up to do. Maybe Kecker, you should take the lead on our social media plugs here.
Mm-hmm. So just a heads up, everybody. Besides saying thanks to all you that stopped by, we do have a YouTube channel for Speed Gaming. All the VODs for the marathon will be up on the VODs within a day or two, so be patient. We do have VODs of all the other tournaments that happened as well as a few current ones, such as the Link to the Past tournament. I'm not sure what else, but there's a lot of tournaments going on. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Also, if you're not following our Twitter, please do. We have a lot of announcements that we post on our Twitter feed. Yeah, it's twitter.com/speedgaming. Speedgaming show.
It's important to get the name of the Twitter right.
Yeah.
We have to do a link. You just scroll down and hit the link on it. There's also a Twitter specifically for SNES Superstars. You can grab that as well. Links in the chat to make it a little easier. I'll tell you about something cool that's coming up. Is we're sort of I don't know if partnering's the right word, but we have some stuff coming up in the very near future, sponsored by Vi. Vi.gg is a betting on esports organization kind of thing, and they're putting up some prize pools for 2 tournaments: the Super Metroid Zelda 3, otherwise known as A Link to the Past combo randomizer. We're doing a tournament for that, and we're doing a tournament for Super Mario World No Star World. And these are both happening pretty soon. I think matches are going to start on November 27th for SMZ3. They're going to start on November 30th for Super Mario World. You might still be able to sign up. I think sign-ups close like tonight, like
for the
28
SMZ3.
minutes ago.
Right. I mean, if you want to, it's your last chance. If you want to get in there right now, get in there and sign up for the SMZ3 tournament. And
just don't tell us, and we'll pretend that you made it.
Right, we'll pretend you got there in time. And then, for the Super Mario World, we're going to have a series of qualifiers. It's going to be Friday of this coming week. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we'll have 2 more of them on, Wednesday and Thursday night of the following week. And you only need to participate in enough qualifiers to be able to get 3 races in. Each one of the qualifier sessions will have as many races as we can. There's probably going to be at least a half dozen of them in each session. And the way it works is the top, we'll keep track of a leaderboard of everyone's times that they post during the qualifiers. And each player's top 3 times will be factored together to come up with who's got the best average time overall. And based on that, we'll seed everybody into a single elimination bracket and play it out from there in the weeks that follow.
The other cool thing about this is, in addition to the initial prize pools, proceeds from people who are using Vi to do stuff that they do. I'm not familiar myself. I haven't tried it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I think you can get the initial sign up. They'll give you like a free first bet or something. Don't quote me on that, but
you get a free. Everyone who signs up with the promo link gets a free €20 bet that they can place, and everything that we earn from it is going directly back into increasing the prize pools for these tournaments itself. So go ahead and sign up in there, and if we get 100 people signing up through that link, Speed Gaming is going to put in an additional $200 into each of the tournament's prize pools. So that'll be a fun collaboration. Also, in 2019, we haven't announced which games it's going to be yet, but we're going to do several new tournaments in 2019. Given the prize pools that were funded by you guys through the crowd control races we did this past week, we did one this past Saturday and the Saturday before that. Through those crowd control races, we raised a bunch of funds that we're going to put 100% of that into funding some prize pools for a bunch of new tournaments in 2019. So stay tuned for details on which ones those are going to be.
Yeah, again, those details will probably be posted on our Twitter, which again, you can be following. We've got another event coming up that feels kind of blasphemous to mention in our Super Nintendo Marathon. But when the Sega Genesis Classic Collection came out on PC, Sega sponsored an event with a prize pool to have some racers compete in some of those games. It was pretty low amount of prep time for the runner, so it was kind of an interesting sort of in-between phase, not quite totally blind, but not quite a practice speed run. And we held a cool competition for that. And so they're releasing the game on another platform. It is a Nintendo platform, at least. So there's our tie-in back to the Super Nintendo. But the Switch is getting a version for the Sega Genesis Classic Collection. So we're going to be doing another event with another prize pool. And that should be coming up pretty shortly. I don't know how much details we have.
Right. It's 2 weekends from now. It's going to be the release of of that for Switch. The Sega Genesis Classics collection it's basically just a bunch of Genesis games that they picked out, and you can play it all from your Switch. The last event that we did was to commemorate the Xbox release, and this one is for the Switch release, and that is going to be the 7th, December 7th. So just under 2 weeks from now. I'm going to put a link in the chat right there. Join our Discord server. We have a Sega Genesis Classics channel, and tomorrow we're going to release the game list. It's going to be 7 games. It's going to be short goals, approximately 15 to 20 minutes for each game. And it's going to be 7 games, and we will do these on December 7th, 8th, and 9th. We'll have 2 sessions worth of qualifiers. So we'll have an evening and an afternoon session, so people in different time zones can all participate. That'll be on the Friday and the Saturday, and on the Sunday we'll have the top 4 people from those qualifiers will participate for $2,500 worth of prizes. There will be a $2,500 prize pool provided by Sega, so that should be pretty fun. And so stay tuned to our Discord server and our Twitter for us tomorrow to release exactly what those 7 games will be. They're not going to be the same ones that we did this past May, the last time we did this, so it's going to be some new games. And I think you're going to like them, because honestly, most of the games that they chose for this collection were just, were the ones that you would think of. It's all the really famous games that Sega was known for are in this thing, so it's going to be some good stuff.
All right, we're also joined. I'm going to put him on the spot here, but he's still in this channel, so we got at Around Deck Rick here as well, one of the Speed Gaming staff members. How you doing tonight?
Hello. What a fun marathon this has been. Just to see so many different games throughout the entire week that some of them I was like, there's this game? What in the world? This is weird. And then there's, of course, some old favorites, too. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
I hope they did, too. I definitely did. Yeah, the weird ones are probably my favorite. I also like seeing the ROM hacks and stuff. Like, the Super Metroid Project Base ROM hack is a real awesome piece of work that I had a lot of fun filling in on commentary for. So, we branch out, do all kinds of things for SNES Superstars. What do you think? Volunteers?
Yeah, we should shout out all the people who make this happen, because, I guess many of you know us, but I don't know if you know the other people who are behind the scenes making this work. We had a lot of people who just put in so many hours of work just out of the kindness of their hearts, so we would like to shout all those out. Myth, do you want to go into the honors?
Here. Yeah,
go
so
for it, buddy.
We got Cyclone, who was doing both hosting and commentary, a lot of it. Laricos doing a lot of setup. Mikey McC has been helping us since the first SNES Superstars, I think.
He was the one who came up with the name.
Oh, you're right.
Call it the SNES Marathon or something like that, because I had no name for it.
He was like, "You idiots!"
He's like, "How about
basically
SNES Superstars?" And you're just like, "Okay, yep, that's what it's called."
No, that's much better. That is much better.
Thanks, Mikey.
These people are in chat too, by the way. You can see the names if you want to click these people and maybe follow their channels or whatever. MathGirl718 also helping us out. Long time Speed Gaming volunteer now. Joshua with a 0. I don't think he's here, so you might have a hard time finding his Twitch channel, but he was doing a lot of setup. Dark Sky NL. Zelnus also in the chat doing a lot of work. Demoted Staff, who is not some kind of unnamed staff member we kicked out. It's just actually the name Demoted Staff. Also doing in some setup work. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. Obviously some of us here, thanks to Kepu Manshoyu for doing some of the VOD highlighting stuff. Sakura was doing some hosting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think we got everyone. Terribly, very, very sorry if I missed any of our volunteers. But we also had a ton of runners and commentators. Too many to name. I could sit here, settle in, get a glass of water, and go down the schedule list and name all of these names, but it just doesn't make sense. So one gigantic thank you to all of the runners, all of the commentators. The event obviously doesn't happen without you guys. It's one of the biggest marathons in terms of just sheer length and volume, and it's because all you guys come out and put this stuff together. Also, special thanks to people who filled in some of the gaps in the schedule last minute. We did miss trackers for all the randomizers. Oh no. If someone knows a tracker, put the name in the chat.
I'll get it. I think I can get a list here.
Cool. While Fiesel's doing that.
Miss
Let me thank
Measurated, one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also doing commentary.
All the trackers. Okay, we had A Link from This World, Kirito, LJM Nin, Nikan, Mr. Broadstone, Mr. Ubik, Pansneck, Red Aramer, Tali, and Volt. Thank you for doing tracking during this marathon.
Nice. I'm glad we were able to get those names. They got my back. These guys, we work well together, I suppose. But last thanks, of course, goes to you guys out there in chat land. We could put this all together, but if no one's watching, it's not a lot of fun. So for keeping the chat nice and happy and active and for having fun with us, thanks so much for watching. And I think that's going to do it.
Yeah, that should be it. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's all I can think